I own a lot of 2011 pistols and 1911 double stack guns, but if I could sell those to buy one, this is the gun I would buy, the Wilson D77 Project 1. That's a bold statement because this is technically not a 2011, it's really not a 1911. We'll get into that today with the new Wilson D77 Project 1. So this gun, no weapon light on this pistol today, and it fits a 5-inch Staccato XC holster, which we offer here at the rdrgear.com website. All of our certified holster mods, holster wraps, holster accessories, all which you can find on our website. But this one here fits a little wonky, and I believe that's because of how narrow the gun is, not being a true 2011. We won't really offer mods for this gun because this one's not mine. I'm trying to get one. Well, I'm trying to get possibly this one or one like it. But until that happens, we won't really do much for it. But if you guys are looking for a holster for this, you're pretty good on this front holsters, and you're probably going to be pretty okay on most standard 2011 Staccato XC style holsters due to the shape of the gun. Even though it's a short dust cover, I think you'll be okay with some Kydex holsters as long as they're full rail dust cover guns. I think you're going to be just fine with the slide dimensions, slide length, and width. So let's talk about this being a Wilson #1, right? So our slide to frame fit is phenomenal. Like if we had touch television, man, this thing is just buttery smooth, right? I've had this gun for a while now. I've put around 1,500 rounds on it. It's just, I really, really like this pistol. I kicked myself in the ass for not jumping on board when these got released. I'm not a big fan of limited, and we'll discuss that further in the video, but these are a limited run pistol. The slide to frame fit on this gun is just tremendous. It is really, really well done on this pistol. The other thing I really like about this pistol, and we'll talk about grip here shortly, is the modularity of the slide. If you guys watched my Echelon video in the past, they were using the pin system, right? To where there's pins under the optics cut that allows that pistol to host many different optics. One of the really cool things I think that Wilson did was, and for my ADHD brain is, and this is something that Springfield did not do, which I felt was a pain in the ass at times, is they've actually, I don't want to lose any of the loose ones in here. They've color-coded the pins so that you don't have to guess on which one it is, right? So you have a red for RMR, blue for another optic, green for another optic, and each of the crack sacks are color-coordinated. This, I think for me, you guys are at home already laughing at me, but this is something that I think is genius. Because as you guys are going to want to swap out optics and whatnot, that really does, I think, make it super easy. And that comes from experience with the Echelon gun, because I didn't have those markings. We just had to kind of play around with where the holes on the bottom of the red dot were to the holes in the slide. So the color coordination of this with these little literally crack sacks, was pretty impressive. And I really liked that there's a little menu card here that shows you what you had to, you know, what color went to what. The other cool thing on this pistol is that it does come with a rear irons plate, right? Very well built rear irons plate. Not an adjustable rear sight, just a standard Novak sight. But you'll notice on the pistol right now, there is no front sight per se. It's just a plug filling the hole in the front sight. In the bag, you get to actually add your fiber optic front sight. So you can run it irons or you can run it red dot. This is kind of just a front sight delete, so to speak. And that I thought was super cool with it. I'm running the Romeo X Pro on this. I've been running smaller micro dots like this on single action pistols for a while now. I like the form factor where it doesn't hang off the edge with a wider plate. And if you're shooting target focus, this size window doesn't make a difference, right? I'm really enjoying how clean it is. I've put one of these now on this gun, my Springfield Combat Carry, a couple different pistols I have in my 1911 lineup, and some are Holliston 507s, etc. But I'm really digging the slimline profile of having a smaller dot versus the overhang of the RMR plate. As you guys know, this gun is a comped pistol. It has comps on the front and the side. The sides are very reminiscent of like a Iridian ramjet porting style. And you got two in the front, full length barrel, and that torpedo cool looking guide rod. There's not much out there information on this design of guide rod. It's probably, I would have to assume that it's going to be related to something for takedown. I have not taken this gun apart yet, but again, I didn't want to mess with it too, because as I mentioned earlier, this was not sent to me from Wilson. This is a bit of a drug deal, so to speak. So again, I'll have more on that in the future for follow-up reviews if that actually goes down. So I don't have a relationship with the Wilson as of yet. I've done some other Wilson pistols in the past, but I'm hoping that once they see this, maybe we'll have a relationship, some dialogue to do some future content on other pistols. Let's get to frame. The frame has kind of, I think some folks are going to be cool with it and some are going to be upset about it, right? I have had an EDC-9 and an SFX-9 in the past. Both guns stayed with me for a very short amount of time because they were slippery. These, as I mentioned earlier, they're not quite 2011s. They're not really 1911s because they are a two-piece pistol, and I kind of like that. On a traditional 2011 or a 1911, for example, I don't think the grip safety makes an issue, but I understand the feel that some folks like without having a beaver tail. Where this gun to me shines over a traditional 2011 is this area right here. And that's a good and a bad to in some eyes, right? Because the bad side of it is a proprietary magazine. Nobody likes a proprietary magazine. But if you look at this magazine, it looks very, very similar to a PDP magazine. So I'm thinking that this is not going to be super, super hard if you're lucky enough to get one of these in the drop. I would bet money there's more mags out there and availability of magazines. I do understand the base plate thing is a Wilson thing, so that always adds money, right? When you stamp your mark on something, you always charge a few bucks more for it. But the way the ergonomics of this frame fits the hand, right? And with that palm swell and the integrated mag well, when you insert magazines, it is such a clean feature on this pistol, and it fits my hands super well, right? I don't got big hands, but I got kind of long, girly fingers, as my brother would say. So again, it's just very clean in the hand. That super tactile safety, you can probably hear it. Very well done. The grip, trigger, magwell. I like the short dust cover. Overall, this area, whatever caused them to change the past versions of this grip area, man, well done. This micro magwell, like as I mentioned, amazing. I'm not a huge fan of the rose gold or tinko, whatever you want to call it, but I get it. You're offsetting the color contrast of the pistol. They now do have a OD green model of this. That was a limited run again that they just released. That's sold out, I believe, again. So, but man, this thing is very impressive. When you guys see it today, it shoots super soft, super flat, and extremely accurate. And again, of course, it's a Wilson Combat pistol. So you're getting all that heritage, all that craftsmanship, all that knowledge and experience in building guns in a very modernized pistol from them. Trigger. I've heard some people say this trigger is sticky. I don't know what that means, to be honest. It doesn't. The gun shoots very clean. Reset on the pistol is, I don't think you get any better than that, to be honest. When I shot this, it shoots extremely fast. I posted on Instagram a buddy of mine shooting it. He's never shot a 2011 or a higher end 2011 type style pistol. And in the video, Rob gets a couple away from him pretty quick. But his group was maybe the size of a silver dollar at 25. And he had it bagged, of course, but we were to zero in the optic. This trigger, I like the width of the shoe. I like the texture on the shoe. And it's aesthetically, it's pleasing to the eye with the 3-hole skeletonized trigger. But again, I don't think there's any issue with this thing and that break. So, again, sometimes I think as shooters we look for excuses to correct what happened on the range. If you watch my videos, I've thrown some pretty horrific B-roll up there, but again, that's just being human. So I love this pistol. And again, this was not sent by Wilson. This is just an organic opportunity for me to shoot something that I might be purchasing, right, through friends, local friends. I would sell, if the opportunity does come up, I will sell other 2011s off to buy this one. For me, and I think if you're able to, and it's tough for you guys at home, right, because this is not sitting on a shelf, it's not in a rental counter somewhere. You're not going to go touch one and feel one and play with one, right? You're going to take the YouTuber route, and you're going to listen to dudes you trust and say, hey, they said it was good, I think I'm going to roll the dice if you were able to get one. In my research of this, there are some dealers who have them, and like anything that's a limited drop, sneakers, watches, clothes, etc., once the drop is gone, whatever that price at drop point was, skyrockets, right? It's like the aftermarket Rolex space. I saw the most recent one for our OD Green one, I saw it $9,850, which is insane. Absolutely insane. But I'm sure they're going to get it. And the city that I saw it in is a city of excess. People out there, since it's rare, unique, and cool, they're going to pay it. It's regardless, right? But at the end of the day, if you're able to get one of these, hats off, man. I'm super jealous. I really should have just pulled the trigger. I kicked myself in the ass for not. Just when they dropped, I was there. The price was not astronomical, anything more than anything else I bought in the past. I just like, I'm sure they'll be around. And no, they weren't. They went pretty fast. So, but at the end of the day, this is something that I would love for Wilson. Wilson, if you're listening, I would like this, if it's D77 and Project 1, if it's going to be Project 2 or whatever in the future, but just this style. And it doesn't even have to be the comped model, right? I think this gun would shoot just as well. Well, maybe not as fast and as flat, but again, flat is induced by recoil control by the person holding the pistol. Guns don't shoot flat. It's a controlled detonation in your hand. You're doing your part with grip and stance to control that recoil. But I would love for Wilson to make this same pistol in the 5-inch of 4 1/4, and like if they chop this sucker like at right here, right? If that's like a 3 1/2 inch, whatever, I think with, even though this is a full size grip, they could maybe shorten it a smidge. I don't even think they have to. But with the proper holster, this thing would be a super dope carry gun. I think the ergonomics of the hand, how good this texture fits in the hands, that magwell, just everything about this portion of the pistol does it for me. I have not had a gun in my hand in a long time that felt this good and allowed me to shoot as well as I shoot this pistol. And so again, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping this deal goes through. because I'm on the fence, right? I really want a bolt gun. I really feel bolt gun would be something that would get me. Lately, I'm kind of like lackluster on shooting. It's like, this definitely got me peaked again. But I know myself. This will it's a pistol. It will, my interest will wane as I go forward. Bolt gun, I'm back on the gas gun again. We got some gas gun content coming next month. I'm shooting a match in September, a pretty big one. I haven't been to a match in a very, very, very long time. And especially a match where I got to shoot fast, shoot small, shoot unsupported with a little bit of math involved. That's all the mixings for disaster for my brain, right? But I'm excited. Today we did a little bit. I got a few reps in. I've been doing some dry fire at home, and and I got a few months to practice. But the bolt gun is really calling my name. I also kind of thinking a large trim gas gun. So this is pulling me away from my plan a month ago, right? So again, it's tough, right? But I'd for sure dump the XC. I have a couple other pistols that I've had that I could offset as well. But Wilson Combat, you're listening, you watch this, man, well done. Really well done, this pistol. I really hope once we get Roll SHOT Show around in January that we see a lot more of this pistol in this direction, because this really packs a punch in regards to how flat it shoots with the multi-port comp, the texture of the grip angle, the micro magwell, the magazines, regardless of proprietary. This is a home run out the park, hands down. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing what this gun does and what comes of this in the future. That's what I got for you guys today. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, be well. Take care.